Good morning, all of you. Today we will see one more important topic from Introduction to Repertory, that is the relationship between homeopathic materia medica and repertory. Now, all these topics of Introduction to Repertory is very important because it gives maximum marks in your theory paper. So, we have seen advantages of repertory, disadvantages of repertory, and in that topic, we have also studied that these advantages and disadvantages will help us to understand relationship between repertory and other subject. So today we'll see relationship between homeopathic materia medica and homeopathic repertory. Now, what is the objective of this topic? Simple objective is exam oriented objective. It could be a 10-mark long answer question. Then each relation can be asked as a long answer question and in orals. And then the academic objective is that one should study this topic at the beginning and one should study also at the end of learning all the repertory, because it will give some important concepts about this relationship of homeopathic materia medica and repertory. And another objective is these topics will really help you to overcome the limitation of homeopathic repertory. And in previous lectures, we have seen that how the user of a repertory should always overcome the limitation of repertory by complementing all these limitations with some complementation by homeopathic materia medica. So, the first relation between repertory and homeopathic materia medica is that homeopathic materia medica forms a base of repertory. Now, we can't imagine the evolution of repertory, existence of repertory without existence of homeopathic materia medica. And it is just a branch. Repertory is just a branch of a homeopathic materia medica, and it is more over if homeopathic materia medica it would have been not there would have been no repertory. Therefore, the first relation is homeopathic materia medica forms the base of repertory. Now, if we just overlook or overview the sources of various repertory, you will find that each repertory is based upon basic materia medica. For example, concordance repertory by Gentry is based upon Encyclopedia of Homeopathic Materia Medica by T.F. Allen. So each and every symptom of this materia medica is indexed in those 6 volumes of concordance repertory. Then Near's repertory, another Puritan repertory. It has its singular source, the guiding symptoms of our homeopathic materia medica by Constantine Hearing. Now, all these 10 volumes of homeopathic materia medica is indexed by Dr. Kelvin Brobst Neer in his simple repertory. Then Oscar Boric's repertory. If we see the source of this Oscar Boric repertory is William Boric's materia medica. So just a review of taking the sources of repertory. The point is very clear that every repertory has its own base, and its base is materia medica. The materia medica may be by a different author, maybe by a different compiler, but repertory has to be based upon the solid foundation of repertory. Few more examples we will see. There are 2 repertories: The Prescriber by J.H. Clark and Clinical Repertory by J.H. Clark. Now, both these repertories are based upon Dictionary of Practical Homeopathic Materia Medica by J.H. Clark. Now, in these 2 repertories, the 3 volumes of Clark's Dictionary of Homeopathic or Practical Homeopathic Materia Medica, it has been concised into smaller repertories which are very useful to homeopathic practitioners. Then again, if we take a review of Kent's repertory, BTBP VBCR, all these repertories are taken from the multiple sources of homeopathic materia medica. So after this overview, it is very clear that every repertory has its base, and its base is not a hypothetical base. Its base is on the rock solid foundation of homeopathic materia medica. So this is again a very wrong concept, is that even if homeopathic materia medica or the homeopathic materia medica is a base of repertory, everything of homeopathic materia medica cannot be included in the repertory. So nobody can substitute the repertory, or nobody can substitute homeopathic materia medica by repertory, because homeopathic materia medica is not equal to repertory, and the repertory is not equal to homeopathic materia medica. This is a very wrong concept, that even if the materia medica forms base of repertory, this equation homeopathic materia medica is equal to homeopathic repertory is a wrong repertory, is a wrong equation. Then what is then the actual relationship is this: homeopathic materia medica is a precursor of repertory. It forms the base of repertory. So the homeopathic materia medica is the first step, and the compilation of repertory is the second step. So this is the first relationship, that homeopathic materia medica forms the base of repertory, and this homeopathic materia medica is not equal to repertory. I think it is clear. So this simple sentence, or this sentence which describes the relationship, it can be asked as a long question. It can be asked as a short question by saying that justify homeopathic materia medica forms the base of repertory. Then the second relationship is the practical aid of homeopathic materia medica is repertory. Now, this point we have also seen under the advantages of repertory, that repertory is a practical aid of homeopathic materia medica, or practical aid of materia medica is a repertory. Now, how it happens? Now, why homeopathic materia medica requires certain aids? We all know that homeopathic materia medica is a vast ocean of symptoms. Now, to study this vast ocean of symptoms single-handedly, or study all this materia medica by the most intelligent brain, is not possible. So it requires certain aid, it requires certain help, and that help is in the form of repertory. Now, most of the time we've seen that there are certain books related to main subjects and certain books related to the practical. For example, in anatomy, the main textbook is B.D. Chaurasia, and to aid in the dissection, there is a Cunningham's manual. Similarly, pathology, physiology, main textbooks are different, but the practicals are given a separate book, because this practical helps us to understand the concepts mentioned in the textbook specifically. Again, if we take a relation of surgery and the book of clinical surgery, medicine and Hutchinson's medicine, or Chamberlain's manual of internal medicine, etc. So every subject which is very big, which is just like ocean, for its practical implementation, it is aided by some few more tools, some few more books, and that book is nothing but the practical aid of that specific subject. So similarly, to study homeopathic materia medica, the practical aid is a homeopathic repertory. Then we will see how exactly repertory helps in study of homeopathic materia medica, or in how repertory helps in the practical application of materia medica. So the first thing is repertory increases the knowledge of homeopathic materia medica. Just now we have seen homeopathic materia medica is a base of repertory. Now we are saying exactly opposite, that repertory increases knowledge of homeopathic materia medica. Even though the first sentence is absolutely clear that homeopathic materia medica is a base of repertory, but to apply that base into practice, to apply that base into specific construction of images, we will require certain practical aid, and that practical aid is homeopathic repertory. And the repertory increases the knowledge of homeopathic materia medica by two simple mechanisms. One is a single drug study and another is a comparative drug study. Now, what is done in the single drug study? So I will explain you how this single drug study is done with the help of repertory. So you have to fix a specific medicine in your mind. For example, nitramur, and you want to study the nitramur all symptoms from repertory. Now, what to do? You go through each and every chapter of repertory. You go through each every rubric, every sub rubric, and there will be a compilation of all the thousands of symptoms scattered in the repertory of nitram moor. And when you compile all these rubrics, sub rubrics in different chapters in which nitram moor is present, you will get all information about that nitram moor. And this information which one has collected from the repertory is more superior than the usual study of homeopathic materia medica, because in a usual study of homeopathic materia medica, it is a partial study when we just limit ourselves to a single textbook, or we limit ourselves to the single source book. As this repertory is compiled from multiple sources, whatever study we do of a single drug, it is also from the multiple sources, and whatever information given in the repertory is a more clinically verified information, so more authentic information, so that single drug study with the help of repertory is more and more complete. It is more and more complete with respect to from different sources. So another mechanism, repertory helps us in doing the comparative study of drugs, and that comparative study of drug, again I will explain you how to do it. That you have to fix now two drugs in your mind. For example, now nitramur and ignatia. Now fix what exact comparison you want to do. Do you want to compare mind symptoms? Do you want to compare stomach symptoms? Do you want to compare symptoms of extremities? Do you want to compare symptoms of generalities? Now again, take a review of all the rubrics and all the sub rubrics and just compile the rubrics, the sub rubrics in which this both drugs are present. So at the end, what will happen? You will have a list of symptoms where nitramur and ignatia, both remedies are present, and in few rubrics only nitramur is present, and in few rubrics ignatia will be present. So I will demonstrate you this single drug study, comparative study of drug with the help of homeopathic softwares, if possible, through this mechanism of screen sharing. I will do it. It is very difficult to understand this single drug study and comparative study of drugs in the air. I will sometimes demonstrate you thoroughly with the help of softwares. So single drug study, you have understood. Then comparative study of drugs, the mechanism is same. You have to just underline the medicines in which those medicines are present in the rubric, and what is the compilation you have to compare, and that compilation will give rise to again the medicines in which the rubrics in which the both medicines are present, and that indicates the similarity, and the rubrics in which one rubric is present and another rubric is absent, that will indicate the difference. So, and then considering this similarity and dissimilarity, the drugs are further differentiated while actually studying the materia medicum. So, this is how repertory increases knowledge of homeopathic materia medica by this two mechanism of single drug study and comparative study of drugs. Then one more point is that when we refer to the repertory while doing the mechanism of repertorization, we come to know something unknown, new symptoms. We come to know some unknown facts about the specific drug. For example, when you repertorize desire for sweets for 5 times manually, so every time it will add in your mind that this drug will be added into your mind. For example, if you first time repertorize this desire for sweet, two drugs will come to your mind, that is calcarea carb and argentum nitricum. Third time you do, fourth time you do, two more drugs will be there in your mind, like lycopodium and sulfur. One more time you do, you will also come to know that graphitis is also a drug which has this desire for sweet. But if you again go through this, if you continue with your study, and there is a one more rubric in our stomach chapter, that it is the rubric is desire for dainties or desire for delicacies. Now in that desire for delicacies, now I am comparing now two rubrics. One is desire for sweet and another rubric is desire for delicacies. So sweet means what? Anything which is sweet in the taste, and delicacies means the special items which are special mithais which are prepared with the help of milk, with the help of maida. That much that is delicacies. So if you compare this two rubrics, the drugs like argentum nitricum, graphitis, sulfur, these three drugs are lacking in this second rubric, desire for delicacies. So delicacies is again a sweet dish which has been prepared with very additions of few more things, and then it becomes a delicacy. So just to give an example, sweet is a sugar, but when you prepare kaju katli, it becomes the delicacy. So maida, uh, if you add maida, ghee, and some more things, it will become a delicacy like cake. It will become a delicacy like pastries. So the taste is sweet, but in addition to the sweet, there are more things. So in this way, if you go on studying the rubrics and compiling the materia medica in your mind, it will make the study of homeopathic materia medica more and more interesting, and you will come to know the more and more unknown symptoms about the specific remedy. Again, for example, we all know that nitramur is ailments from disappointment of love. Ignitia is also ailment from disappointment of love. Phosphoric acid is also ailment from disappointment of love. But if you study further, the nitrum mood will never cry after this disappointment of love. Nitrum mood will never have expressive grief, which can be seen by everybody. But the nitrum mood will have undemonstrative grief. It is a rubric mentioned in James 9 chapter. The grief will be silent. So nitrum mood will suffer this grief of disappointment of love in a very silent, in a very undemonstrative way. But while that of phosphoric acid, the phosphoric acid will become apathetic, dull, it will lose all its interest in the surroundings, and then the elements of disappointment of love, phosphoric acid, we will be able to understand. Ignitia. Ignitia will become more disconcerted. Disconcerted means what? Hatash, nirutsahi. The person will suffer from that disappointment of love, and he will lose all his hope, and he will lose all his things because of the disappointment of love, and he will not do any kind of attempt to go ahead in his life. So all these facets of these drugs, all these facets of homeopathic materia medica will come to our knowledge only when we study this homeopathic materia medica more and more. Then again, there are some interesting rubrics. There is one rubric: hard to inferior and soft to superior. That means the person will be hard on the inferior. That means the persons who are below his rank, for them he will be very much hard, but he will behave very rudely, he will behave very strictly. But to the persons or to the boss, that person will behave very softly. And there are drugs like lycopodium, there are drugs like calicar, but the difference will be the lycopodium will be have more diplomatic. All these things he will be motivated with certain selfishness, while that of Kalika will behave in this way because of his duty consciousness, because of his sense of responsibility. So all such things I can give more and more examples, but all these things are only come to the knowledge of homeopathic physician only after the continuous study of homeopathic materia medica through the repertory. Why it happens? Because when you are reading Kalikarp from homeopathic materia medica, you will just read Kalikarp and Kalikarp, but the difference from Kalikarp and Lycopodium will be missing. You will just read Nitrum Mur and Nitrum Mur, but the actual difference, which has been evolved only through going through the study of homeopathic materia medica through repertory. That difference you will come to know only after studying materia medica from the perspective of repertory. So this is the second point, that repertory makes the study of homeopathic materia medica extremely interesting, and it reveals more and more about the unknown symptom, more and more about the unknown facets of the drug. So thus it stimulates the study of homeopathic materia medica. And if you read homeopathic materia medica through only books of materia medica, after some time it will become boring. But if you do it with the help of repertory, it will become more and more interesting. So this is how repertory is a practical aid. Then again, another point is repertory is a homeopathic materia medica available at our fingertips. Now, what does it mean? So, we all know homeopathic materia medica is just like a ocean. And for example, the hearing guiding symptom of our Materia Medica is been given in the 10 volumes, and needs repertory, which is based upon these 10 volumes of hearing guiding symptom of our Materia Medica, is only in a single volume. Now to refer to now imagine a situation where somebody has asked you go through those 10 volumes of hearing guiding symptom and find out the remedies which are indicated for the symptom of thirstlessness. No, it will be not possible. It will be possible, but it will have much hard work, much strain on our eyes, and then we'll come to know. But if you know that all this materia medica of hearing is indexed in needs repertory, you will just open up that rubric thirstlessness at the respective list, and you keep the finger at that thirstlessness. All the lists of drugs will be available just at the fingertip. So this is the meaning of how. This is the meaning of the repertory is a homeopathic materia medica available at our fingertips. Same thing with respect to the prescriber. Same thing with respect to the clinical materia medica by J.H. Clark. All the 3 volumes of Clark's practical materia medica is available just at our fingertip. So I can go, but I will stop here. Then it leads one up to that in the homeopathic materia medica, which one seeks in the most speedy and efficient manner. Again, what does it mean? That you want to search out something in the homeopathic materia medica. It will take labor. It will take certain strain on your eyes. But if you open the repertory, the information you will get in a very less minimum time with a very less labor, and that too in a efficient manner, that too with minimum mistakes. Then another point which is in the favor of this important heading in practical aid of materia medica is repertory is a regular repertorial work, is a refresher course in homeopathic materia medica. Now, what does it mean? That homeopathic materia medica is a ocean of symptoms, because that's why it is a very volatile subject. You read one drug today, and after 10 days, it will be forgotten from your mind. But if you are constantly in touch with those drugs through regular repertorial work, then whenever you will come to repertorize that specific rubric, you will just remember that yes, these are for straight. There are just so many drugs. Calcarea carb is there, lycopodium is there, graphitis is there, argentum nitricum is there. So this will again and again refresh in your mind, and slowly you will develop your own materia medica, or you will able to memorize the most of the materia medica, and you will be also able to refresh what is there in your mind. Then one more point is repertory does not restrict the materia medica. It makes, on the other hand, more available. Now, what does it mean? Just now I have taken why it is said that the repertory does not restrict the materia medica. Just taken the example of 3 volumes of class dictionaries are just given in a single repertory, that is the prescriber or the clinical materia medica by J.H. Clark. 10 volumes of hearing guiding symptoms are given in a single volume of needs repertory. 10 volumes of C.F. Allen's encyclopedia is given in the 6 volumes of Gentry's concordance repertory. So when we look at this volume, 10 volumes and 1 volume of hearing, 10 volume of materia medica and same 1 volume of that materia medica index by need, we see that the repertory just restricting the materia medica. That means it is shortening it, it is compressing it, and it is restricting the materia medica. But this is the one part of this sentence. It is a factual part, that 10 volumes into 1 volume or 3 volumes into 1 volume. But on the other hand, it it makes it, on the other hand, more available. What does it mean? That those 10 volumes, 3 volumes of Materia Medica can be easily accessed with the help of repertory. That's why it is said that it do not restrict the Materia Medica, but it makes it, on the other hand, more and more available. So this is the meaning of this sentence, that repertory does not restrict the Materia Medica. It makes it, on the other hand, more and more available, and with the help of repertory, you can access to the more and more Materia Medica. And this allegations put on the repertory, that the repertory does not or repertory restrict the Materia Medica, is a false allegation.